Welcome, everyone. And just as we start the recording, of course, Miracle decides to bark, um, but there's nothing I can do about that. Welcome, everyone. There are quite a lot of newcomers this month. Just to let you know, this is the Business for the Soul webinar series, and I'll explain that in a moment. But we normally have it the second or third Tuesday of every month if you want to join the ones coming up. And I never know what topic I'm going to do. The topic always presents itself. And I'm so excited to share this topic on worry with you because, there's nothing worse than worry to keep you up at night. So very excited. Welcome, everyone. And to all the newcomers, what we will do is it's just a 30 minutes. I'm going to work through this with you. I think it's quite easy. I go at a good pace as well. But after the session, I will be sending you an attendance sheet with details of everyone on board, because as a business coach as well, I always look for every opportunity where you guys can network. So go through the attendance list. Maybe there's someone there that, can help you out, or you can help them. Make a point of taking it offline and having a coffee meeting with them. Because as you know, in business, it's all about relationships. All the oldies, the people that I know on this site, it's all because of networking. It's all because of networking. So use that opportunity, and of course, no spamming, which none of us do anyway. Okay, so let's start. Welcome to the Business for the Soul series. And what I quickly want to mention here is, I was so dying to start with this here, which I have done. These are the series, and they're really popular because there's more to business than meets the eye. When your heart and mind align in business, that's when you have a sense of clarity, confidence, and purpose. It's easier to make better decisions, increase your productivity, and have a genuine passion that propels you forward. So what is the heart? So what I'm really about, in essence, is really connecting the heart and mind of business. I'm a life and personal coach, have been trained since 2006, and have really coached hundreds of clients. And I love the personal space. And of course, I love business. If you know anything about me, I can't walk past a business without sort of wanting to get my hands dirty. But what I have noticed is that often it's the hard stuff that trips us up in our business. So we could have all the strategies in the world, but if we have triggers, patterns, behaviors, fears, doubts, procrastination, time management, productivity issues, if we have those and we don't look at that and try and overcome them, then it's obviously going to affect our business. Would you agree, everyone? It's actually the hard stuff. What I mean by that is the emotion stuff. They call it the soft skills, which is actually not soft. It's real hard stuff that we need to, address, that actually can trip us up in business. So what I like to do is I love to work on the hard stuff with the business strategy, and those two moving forward will get you the best result. So every month I deal with a different topic. Okay, so this topic today is how to be a warrior instead of a warrior. Okay, so I think you would agree with me. So if everyone can just mute themselves, that would help. Thank you. There's nothing worse than worry. I mean, so put your hand up. I can't see everyone. I'm going to try and see everyone, but put your hand up if you've experienced worry in your life. Yes, okay. And what about experiencing worry in your business? Who today is not worried about something in their business? Okay. And you know what worry I find is very debilitating. And I'm reading a book at the moment. I wanted to get the book for you. But take this down. It's by Dale Carnegie. I love all the old school guys. I just love their books. So Dale Carnegie, and the book is entitled Stop Worrying and Start Living. Stop worrying, start living. And that's actually what inspired me to do this webinar. Okay. So let's first look. What is worry? Okay, I'm just moving something so I can actually see what I've written. Definition. So worry is the act of feeling anxious or uneasy about potential problems or future events. That anxious, apprehensive, uneasy feeling, which I can't stand that feeling. That is worry. So, and sometimes we don't even know what we're worried about. We're just feeling apprehension and we don't know what we're worried about. So these two formulas I'm going to give you will help with that as well. What are the effects of worry? See if you can connect this to yourself. It drains your energy, distorts your thinking. You don't think normally when you're worried, and kills your ambition, hopes, and dreams. Things just don't seem possible anymore. Less opportunities. Okay? Solution. Is there a solution for worry? Instead of going over it in your head again and again and again and trying to find a solution, yes, there is actually something that can be done to actually stop it or actually get rid of it for good. And it's a very practical formula or formulas that can put an end to worry. Okay. So I'm sure you would agree with me. We've all worried at some point in our lives and businesses. But that horrible anxious feeling that kind of lingers and it's in the background all the time. We want to try and get rid of that. Okay, so what do we worry about? Let's look on a personal level. We worry about the big ones, the big pieces of the pie of our lives. Health, finances. Who's not worried about finances here today? Relationships, the future. What does the future hold? And self-worth. So what I mean by that is all that personal stuff, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, self-trust, self-belief. We worry about that. Decision-making. What holds us back in decision-making? Our fears, doubts, all of those kinds of things. That's the kind of stuff we worry about. On a business level, business success, profitability. Am I going to make it? Financial stability. Are we in the red? Are we in the black? How can I meet the bottom line every month? But not only that, I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. How's that going to happen? Work-life balance. I'm spending if possible, 23 out of 24 hours on business. I mean, I know people that get up. We're all there. We're all wearing the hats. You get up, you're doing business. You want to spend some time with the family, but it's just not possible because you need to get the work done. Okay. And then people, friends and family, because especially if they're not entrepreneurs or business owners, don't understand that. So they're putting more pressure on you to spend time with that, or to spend time with them. And that puts even more pressure on you. Okay. Business uncertainty and risk. We've had a lot of uncertain years in the last 3-4 years. Okay. That's just added to our worry. And then here's a big one. People don't actually often think about it, but it's one of the big worries in a business when you start having a team management. How do you manage a team? That people always think it's not enough clients and it's finances that can close a business down. But one of the number one reasons of closing businesses are team. So if your team doesn't work, for you, it can be a real serious problem in your business. I know someone that I kind of worked with back a couple of years ago, and he was so risk averse now because his very first business, his team basically caused the collapse of that business. He went away on holiday, leaving people in charge, and he came back and he didn't have a business anymore, and he could do nothing about it. Everything was gone. Walked into the warehouse, there was nothing left. So team management is very important. I'm sure you can all identify one of these that's keeping you up at night. Okay. So 2 magical formulas. I'm going to share 2 with you. Now I might go quite quickly because I really want you to get these. The first one is not easy. It is easier than the second one. So I'll go through that quite quickly. And then I'm going to do the second one with you. Okay. So rule number 1. When you do these activities, you have to take the emotion out of them. So I know a lot of the stuff that keeps you up at night is quite emotional. But when we're emotional, we can't make rational decisions. So these tools actually help you to be more rational. Just put the emotion aside for a while. Okay. Is everyone keen on these 2 formulas? Are you ready for them? Great. Okay, so we're going to do the first one. Okay. Magic formula number 1. So work with me on your piece of paper. Write down what the problem is that you're having right now. Write down a worry that you're having in one clear sentence. Don't write an essay. What is the challenge? It could be, I don't have money to pay my team. It could be, I'm not making a profit. It could be, I don't know how to get more clients. Or it could be, I'm not spending enough time with my family and I don't know what to do about it. Okay, so write that as a sentence. Then we're not going to spend too much time on number 2, but let's start with it. Journal what the cause of the problem is. What is the actual cause of that worry or problem that you've written down? What do you think the cause is? If you don't know what the cause is, just write. So when I say journal, I don't mean being you have to really know what you're writing. You might not know what the cause is, so just write whatever comes to mind. I think it is, and as you start writing, it's amazing what comes to your pen. Just write it down. List all the possible, list all the possible causes. May not even be, you think it might not be linked to this, but it could be. Write down everything. What is the cause of the problem? Okay, now after writing a little bit, do you feel clearer on what you think the cause of the problem is? The one main cause. Put a thumbs up, even if you have an idea. So I think it is because I'm good. I think it is because I'm not networking enough or I don't have enough clients. Good. I see more thumbs up. Good. So now that one cause, list all your possible solutions. Okay, so if I feel I'm not getting enough clients, so what are all the possible solutions? Maybe I need to network more. Maybe I need to follow up more. Maybe I need to have more one-to-one meetings. Maybe I need a social media campaign. Maybe I can go onto LinkedIn. Maybe I can have a morning expo session, or I can put on an event. Maybe I can do a webinar like this for free, something that can help everyone that's coming to the webinar. What are all the possible solutions for your cause of worry? Now, remember this tool I'm sharing with you, you can do with anything. Once you know how to do it, you can do it with anything. So then, out of those possible solutions, choose one. Circle that one. Quickly go through them. It might feel instinctive, that's the one, or it's the one that you know would get immediate solutions, or the one that you've been putting off that you know can help you right now. What is that one? Just put a thumbs up when you've got that. Just remember, I know I am moving a little bit fast. Good, thanks, Chad. Don't stress, you can go over this again with yourself. Okay, thanks, Felicia. Just gives me a sense of where people are. Bridget, nice to see you again. Okay, so you have now got a possible solution, which maybe you didn't have before, maybe you did, but you had never actually really identified it or written it down. Now what you need to do is start. Forget about the worry. The worry will continue if you don't start. Okay, so as soon as you start, what will happen is you'll get feedback. Something will shift. And it's that feedback that you need to take you to the next level, which will then quell the worry, because you actually, first of all, you're doing something about it and it's starting to change. It's starting to shift. Have you ever experienced that? You just take that one small step and all of a sudden things look different. Why? It's because you're getting feedback. You are making progress. There's momentum. So you've got to keep the momentum going. Keep the emotion aside. Just stick to your plan and keep on moving forward. So I know it sounds simple, but this is how we curb worry. We actually do something about it. We do something about it. Okay, and that's what Dale Carnegie says as well, or people in the book that he's written stories about, is the number one antidote to worry is to take action. And if you know me, I'm big on action. So it was so nice to read that in the book, that actually what I believe in and what works for me and what works for my clients is actually has been said by someone who wrote a book in 1936 and who's very famous, Dale Carnegie. Okay. So how was that, everyone? Quite easy to do. Guys, these are not difficult things to do, but guess what? We've got to do it. And here's the other thing, is that we've now got a formula, but we have to remember to use the formula when we worry. Because when we worry, we keep on worrying. We just keep on worrying. We forget that, wait a minute, I can sit down. This can take me 5 to 10 minutes, and I can actually have a solution moving forward and will help me worry less. So we actually forget to use these things. So remember to remember. Okay, are you ready for magic formula number 2? Good. So again, write down in one clear sentence, what are you worrying about? It can be the same thing, because this is a different way. I want to give you two formulas today. Can be the same thing or a different thing. So what is that? Will be interesting maybe even to do the same thing, because this tool could actually help you even further. Okay. Does anyone put their thumbs up when you're ready? I'll try and go according to the group. Thanks, Chad. I always feel it's so nice to see everyone. Oh, Yvonne, you're there. Sharon, great. Thank you, Sharon. Thanks for the feedback there. Francis, Nassim, I hope you're doing well. Siobhan, Suren, excellent. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So analyze the situation. What I mean by is analyze with all honesty. You got to be seriously honest about what you've written down. And just put the fear aside. Be brutally honest with yourself. I was sharing with Sasha before this call, not on a WhatsApp, that there's something I've been putting off for a long time, actually. And I analyzed, this is what I did, Sasha. I analyzed the situation in all honesty. And that's how I came to what I was scared of. Okay, I just wrote it down. It was quite an eye-opener. So analyze with all honesty and without fear. Just write it down. No one's looking at you. No one's judging you. No one's blaming you. You write it down. Okay, and then you figure out, what is the worst thing that could happen if this came to pass? What is the absolute worst thing? So let's look at business. Maybe I would have to close down my business because I'm not getting clients. Okay. Or maybe there's some relationship issues, and the worst, I don't want to get into the negative, but I want you to think of the worst thing that could happen if this came to pass. We have to take ourselves to that point. So maybe it could end in divorce. Maybe I have to sell my house. Maybe I have to sell my car. Yes, Amanda?
So you have to think about what's the worst thing that can happen with that, what specifically you are worried about.
Yes, yes. If it came to pass, because many of our worries won't come to pass, but exactly, thank you, Amanda. So if that came to pass, what is the absolute worst thing that could happen? Okay. This is very powerful, guys. So when you've got time on your own, and you can do this again. See, what's happening now is we taking, or this formula is taking you to a place which you've been avoiding. You don't want to think about that. It's too terrible. But until we think about that, we maybe can't come up with the solution. Okay. Can I carry on? Thumbs up? Okay. Step 3, accept that. So after figuring out the absolute worst thing that could possibly happen, come to terms with it. Accept it. I might have to sell my business. I might have to sell my house, my car. Maybe it's, it could look like maybe we're going to get divorced. Not maybe, we'll get divorced. Accept it. Because up until this point, we've been resisting that, even and maybe not even really thinking about, well, that could actually truly happen. Okay. And why I call it a magic formula is because it's really interesting that when you accept something, Amanda, there was one course that we were on once, and I think you spoke about acceptance, that when we accept something, there's almost a certain calm that comes over you because you've taken yourself to a place that is, you've just been resisting and like you can't even imagine, you don't want to think about it happening. But once we accept it, it's like, okay, I can move on. This is going to happen. I can accept it. And then step 4, this is interesting. Now that you've accepted it, I'm going to get divorced, I'm going to sell my house, I'm going to sell my car, I'm going to close the business down. Now you can start improving on whatever you've accepted. So I'm going to take an example. I'm accepting that we're going to get divorced. You've accepted the worst. But until that moment happens, do whatever you can to improve on your current situation about that worry. So I've accepted the divorce. It's going to happen. But while I'm here, before the divorce happens, let me try and just be a better person. Let me try and communicate better. Let me try and facilitate a smooth divorce with as little fallout as possible. Let me do whatever I can to improve the current situation of that thing that is going to happen or possibly could happen. Am I making sense, everyone? Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you understood what I meant. And guess what? What often happens is, because most of our terrible, terrible fears, some do happen, but many of them don't. And now that we've accepted that it could happen, now we're doing something proactive and constructive on the current situation. And very, very often, something positive happens. Okay, so maybe you think you're going to close the business and all of a sudden, well, I've accepted the worst, so let me at least do this and this and that. And while you're doing this and this and that, someone comes to you and says, I love what you're doing. Can we collaborate? Can we work together? These things happen because we're in motion and there's some momentum. So until that time, improve on that situation in whatever way you can. So let me just go back quickly. Guys, just before we go into the last 2 slides, can you see that this could possibly help you? And even while doing it on this webinar, has it supported you in some way or other? Yes? Is it so? Is it a way that you've actually looked at before? Have you ever done something like this? No. Andressen, I'm looking at you. Could you just this little piece, has this helped you in any way at all?
Hi, Kim. Yeah, thank you so much. I think you mentioned it earlier on as well, is the fact that we want to avoid thinking about the worst. We'll worry about it, but we're just avoiding to see, okay, what the final outcome is. So yes, this helps a lot because now, and also you're writing it down.
Yes.
You're not just thinking it. So
yes.
that's how. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, Andressen. So can you see that in the avoidance, we're not moving forward at all? We just keep on worrying and there's no action. So this is helping you to stop avoiding it. Let's dive deep in and let's just see what is the worst that could happen. 100%. Okay. So as I said before, use the tool. It works. These things work when we work it. There are a lot of amazing tools out there, but if we don't use them, if we don't work them when we need to, they don't work. So use it for the little worries and the big worries, not just for the big stuff. And let me, what I've noticed is that it's the little stuff that really unhinges us. It's the little stuff, not always the big things. Make a commitment to yourself to use it. So, I've got these Felicia knows because I needed these project boards and she told me where to get them. So I've got 3 up on my wall here. Just put a sticky note. Use the worry tool. Because if we don't see it visually, we forget that it's even there. It's not that we intentionally don't use it, we just forget. So make a commitment to use it. And here is a little tip for you. So when do you know that I need to use it? Sometimes we don't even know that we're worried. It's the strangest thing because we're so used to this underlying anxiety that we don't even know what it is anymore. When you feel stressed, when you're overwhelmed, when you're feeling fearful, unable to sleep, or panicked. So panic, now the worry is really escalating, okay? That's when you know, like this is most probably something to do with worry and I need to use the tool. Use whichever one makes sense to you. Okay. And then, yeah, we don't have much time, but I would love some Q&A. So I'm going to quickly close this, stop the share. And anyone who would like to give feedback or ask a question or two, I'm really open for that. First of all, was it useful, everyone? Was it useful for you?
Yes, definitely.
Thanks, Ansi.
Thanks, it was.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Pleasure, Bridget. Thanks, Nassim. Amanda, I see this is a lot to take on. Guys, especially if you have a big worry out there and getting on it, getting down and dirty with myself, getting seriously honest, okay, about that fear. It's a lot. It's a lot. But when I do that, I always feel a little bit relieved actually that I don't have to avoid myself anymore. Okay.
I have to say it was interesting that you took it not just from a business point of view, but from a personal point of view. And I noticed very much, like when I got divorced, talking about divorce, I thought it was fine. And then suddenly little things were cropping up and I hadn't even realized they were there. And I call it unpacking the suitcases until you come and you say, right, I'm here now. This is where I'm at. How do I go forward? And that's sort of like being able to accept this is it. It's so true, very much.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. And it's also why I smile when you said the little things. We think we're fine. Somehow the big things are almost easier to take care of because they're so big, they're in your face. You can at least take the first step, but it's the little things that are actually unhinging you. And that's why also writing it down, as Andressen says, actually identifies exactly what it is. So it's almost like it takes us through a process of grief in a way, that acceptance, like this is what it is, this is the worst it can get, allowing yourself to go there and then accepting it. And you don't have to do it in a minute. You know, it might take a day or a week or so, but it's the start of that process. And then once you accept it, you can actually do something about it. And you know, you can go back to the magic formula number 1. You've got it, you've listed all the solutions, you can quickly do that and then start with the first one. Great. Any one more question or feedback?
Oh, sorry.
Paula?
Okay, yes, I feel this has helped me a lot because basically I am a solopreneur. This is why I'm here. And, you know, it's very difficult when you are on your own and trying to figure out what the next business move is. And you have quite a couple of directions to take and you don't know which one's the best one. And also there are bigger issues like, am I really fishing in the right waters? Am I really, you know, am I sitting here in Durban when I should be maybe somewhere else where there are more people who want my services? I've had all those issues, and I must say that my focus has been quite divided, and also, yes, it helps to speak to other entrepreneurs like yourself and like the others here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Paula. So you're not alone, okay? You're not alone. And you see so many divided issues where this forces you to actually sit down with one. Do the one, you can always get to the others, but do the one that's worrying you the most. And
Okay.
I think there was one person wanted to say something quickly or ask a question.
Hi, Kim. I just wanted to say something very quickly. I think that this is a short and sweet way to be more proactive with dealing with our worries, and it's just so easy to avoid. And you know, as you were going through this, I was just thinking of how many times I've avoided it, and from something small it just turns into something very big. And I think by using these 2 tools, it would be a good way to just break it down and slowly start tackling the worry. Yeah. So thank you.
Pleasure, Sasha. And you know what? Why I say you can actually get rid of the worry? I mean, it really is true because you just accept it. This is what it is. Okay, let me try and improve on it. Forget the worry. You've seen the worst. That is the absolute worst that can happen. Okay, now, so I might as well do something in the meantime before that happens. Okay, and then before that happens, often doesn't come to pass.
Just quickly, what you've just said, it often doesn't come to pass. That is so true. We worry about all these things, and how often doesn't even happen? So
Exactly.
yeah, we're worrying about nothing most of the time, and it's very true.
Yes. So this is helping you to get into action before that thing might happen. And the stuff that might happen is a very small percent, in fact, but in our brains, it could happen. But if we don't take any action, then if it does happen, it's going to happen in the worst of ways, instead of maybe us doing something before and helping it to ease that over. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Lovely to have such a nice crowd. I will send you an email. Please connect with anyone here on board. The businesses are on the worksheet or on the Excel sheet, so you can see what they do. Connect with them, have a one-to-one with them, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks so much, Kim. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thanks, Kim.
it.
Bye, everyone.
Pleasure.
Bye, everyone.
Sharon, I hope you enjoyed it, all the newbies. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.